This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
Surging past 5,000, the number of cases of COVID-19 continues its upward climb in Indiana with another single-day record for the increase in positive tests. Let's take a look at the new numbers out today from the state health department. 568 new cases reported brings the state to more than 5,500 overall. You can see here in Marion County, it easily has the most COVID-19 cases in Indiana as the county has surpassed the 2,000 mark. Also, 173 deaths have now been reported. That is 34 more than yesterday. Keep in mind, however, many of those deaths actually happened days ago. And on this chart, you can see here, the health department has classified those deaths as to when they took place. This week is Holy Week for many Christians, and it comes at a time when we're legally barred from gathering inside of places of worship. Some church leaders have criticized the governor for not labeling church services as an essential activity where gatherings would be allowed. The governor says he is not backing down.
This disease does not care. This disease will prey on the vulnerable. This disease will prey on large gatherings. We have it within us to prevent that.
Last weekend, a Church of Christ in Hammond, Indiana, received a citation for holding a Palm Sunday service in violation of the state's stay-at-home order. We'll hear the latest from the governor during his daily briefing later today. Our live coverage starts at 2:30 this afternoon here on RTV6. You can also watch it at theindychannel.com and at the RTV6 Facebook page. Taking a turn now to our forecast, a great day to get outside. This is a view from our IMS Pagoda camera looking back towards the city skyline. And Todd, those temperatures behind you look pretty good to me.
Yeah, that's the good news. Not bad at all, right, Lauren? We're in the 60s and 70s, and here it is, just 12:02 in the afternoon. And these temperatures, they'll continue to warm a couple more degrees as we'll make our way up into the mid-70s, and maybe a couple of you could even touch the 80-degree mark later on this afternoon. That is going to depend on the amount of sunshine in the forecast. We're kind of toggling back and forth between some sun and overcast skies, and you can see the clouds are in place in some areas, but we don't have any precipitation. That is the good news, but there is a cold front off to our northwest, and this cold front is going to be dropping down, and it's going to bring us the potential, at least, of some strong to severe storms as we work our way into the overnight hours. They should be weakening as they go through since they're coming through overnight, but a couple of them could produce some large hail and also some gusty winds. They should be out of here by 5 o'clock in the morning, but again, it's an overnight event, so make sure you have that Storm Shield app up to date, and that's a weather radio that will alert you if any warnings get issued. But until those storms arrive overnight, we're looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies. It's a little breezy, but very, very mild, Lauren, with high temperatures in the mid-70s.
Todd, thank you so much. Now to Washington, where there's a report out contradicting the president's claim that no one at the top levels of government could have seen this coronavirus crisis coming. As ABC's Alex Perche tells us, one of Trump's senior advisors gave a warning about the pandemic to the administration more than 2 months ago.
There's new information about an early warning on the health and financial damage a COVID-19 outbreak could do to the United States. As first reported by the New York Times, a memo allegedly authored by the president's top trade advisor, Peter Navarro. Navarro writes, "The lack of immune protection or an existing cure or vaccine would leave Americans defenseless in the case of a full-blown coronavirus outbreak on U.S. soil. This lack of protection elevates the risk of the coronavirus evolving into a full-blown pandemic, imperiling the lives of millions of Americans." The memo is dated January 29th and is believed to have been circulated inside the West Wing at the same time President Trump was downplaying the dangers posed by the COVID-19 virus to Americans. The president would later go on to say no one could have predicted such a devastating outcome. Navarro, who doesn't have a medical degree, is also a supporter of using the anti-malaria drug hydroxychloroquine to treat coronavirus patients. The president also supports the use of the drug, which is in clinical trials, but has not yet been approved to treat the virus.
We've had some unbelievable results, and it also gives the people hope.
Though his own top experts caution against this kind of advocacy for unproven drug use. Meanwhile, on the subject of the former Navy captain of the USS Theodore Roosevelt, Brett Crozier, who was fired for writing a letter critical of the military not evacuating his crew from the nuclear carrier during a COVID-19 outbreak.
I may just get involved.
Hours later, the acting Navy secretary issuing a backhanded apology for calling Crozier's actions naive or stupid.
Something else to keep an eye on, the state of Wisconsin will hold in-person elections today, the state Supreme Court ruled, in spite of warnings from federal health experts that this will be one one of 2 peak weeks of death due to this pandemic. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
New this midday, Eli Lilly says it will now cap the out-of-pocket cost for insulin regardless of whether or not you have health insurance. Lilly says the cost to most insulin users will be no more than $35 a month. Critics have called on drug companies to lower the skyrocketing costs of insulin for years, but now Eli Lilly says it wants to help people whose budgets are stretched thin during the COVID-19 pandemic. A reminder, however, patients with government insurance like Medicaid and Medicare are not eligible for this program. Most pharmacies have other insulin price reduction plans that they can use. Some jobs require their workers to break the necessary social distancing barriers. So coming up, we'll show you what one business is doing to keep its workers and customers safe. And it's the food truck that will come to you so you can stay at home. Coming up, We're Open Indy initiative highlights this truck that's still serving people during the pandemic. Todd.
Lauren, it's a great afternoon in progress here across central Indiana. Head out, do whatever you want to do outdoors and enjoy the warmth. But overnight tonight, that's when there is the threat of severe weather. The entire state almost under a slight risk by the Storm Prediction Center. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
General Hospital this week on ABC.
We're seeing more people wear face coverings or work behind plastic shields following the CDC's recommendation that it could help to slow the spread of COVID-19. Our Alyssa Donovan talked to a local business that is taking some extra precautions to keep you and their workers safe.
There are some home repair jobs that just can't be put off. So how can you be sure workers aren't tracking germs and coronavirus into your house? I spoke to a few local businesses that are doing everything they can to ensure you are safe. Jonas Murphy says checking if a client is feeling well before coming to their home to work, it's a new part of the protocol for their team at Indiana Foundation Services. The structural repair company is considered an essential business. Crews gear up when they arrive, wearing Tyvek suits, respiratory masks, and eye protection. Most of the work they perform is outside or underneath the house, but they often have to go inside for inspections. They've adjusted to that process as well if the homeowner is high risk or uneasy about having others in their house.
We're able to get the inspection done with no interaction. We can inspect the home. We have actually taken advantage of technology and we've set up whether a Skype call or a FaceTime and be able to review what the findings were, talk through what the recommended repairs would be, and be able to conduct business using technology.
There are some things that you can do to stay safe too. Make sure you stay 6 feet away from workers while they're in your house, preferably in another room, and when they leave, disinfect all surfaces that they touched. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The price tag may look a little high, but is it actually price gouging? Next, what you should look for and how sometimes the higher price is justified. You get a text saying that you have the COVID-19 test. Coming up, why that's not true, and how to watch out for scammers who try to tell you otherwise. Let's take a live look outside right now. This is our Weather Now camera downtown, view to the west. You can see the blue skies, some high clouds up there. Todd Clausen is standing by. He'll have your full forecast. Looking ahead to the rest of our work week. Coming up here on the news at noon. Stick around. Welcome back. The Indiana Attorney General's office has received dozens of complaints about price gouging. Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny is working for you. She's been digging through those complaints, and she joins us now with what customers and businesses have to say about it.
The Indiana Attorney General's office investigates price gouging complaints. They're asking you to gather evidence like taking pictures with your phone and keeping your receipt.
As items like sanitizing wipes, toilet paper, and other supplies become hot ticket items, more than 160 people have filed price gouging complaints in the past few weeks against stores, gas stations, and online retailers.
You know, we're all out there trying to make it the best we can, and the least thing we want to worry about is, places like that hiking the price up.
Allison Mendenhall filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office last month. She bought hand sanitizer at this gas station, VP 51 on Franklin Road. She was shocked to see how much it cost, $7 for a tiny 2-ounce bottle. Typically, a bottle like this goes for less than $2.
It's just not appropriate to me, so that's why I made the complaint.
A gas station manager told us their wholesaler is charging them more, and they provided documents showing they paid $5 per bottle of sanitizer. That manager told us they're making their usual profit, not any additional profit. So we checked with SC Imports and Wholesale, who told us our supplier charged us more about a month ago than they usually did. Even these prices that we are purchasing for right now are much higher than what a traditional 2-ounce bottle used to cost us. The Attorney General's office is still investigating most of the complaints filed. They told us there is no set formula to determine if a price is considered price gouging.
We are reaching out to various different, businesses to try and get information as to why the prices may have increased, if it's demand, lack of supply, a variety of different factors, just to see if we can assist in determining whether or not it's a violation of law or if it's just that is the condition that we're in right now.
At this point, the Indiana Attorney General's office has not issued any cease and desist letters or filed any actions in court when it comes to price gouging and COVID-19. Reporting in Indianapolis, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Kara, thank you. You can read the full statements from the gas station and wholesaler in this story right now on the RTV6 app and also at the IndyChannel.com. Coronavirus testing is still largely restricted to people who are showing symptoms, but there's a new scam going around that might lead you to think that you have a test for COVID-19 waiting. The Better Business Bureau's Tim Maniscalco tells us what we need to watch out for.
This scam is coming through a text, and it appears as though it's coming through the Department of Health and Human Services. So it looks very legitimate out there, and it's saying that it's a mandatory requirement to get tested for the COVID-19 virus. Number one, there is no mandatory testing. It's not something that, the government is administering. And what they want you to do is click on that website. There's a website that is contained in this text, and that's going to take you someplace where you don't want your computer to go. So once again, just be very, very careful of that. Also, if you get a text or really any text, and it says something like, if you don't want to receive this text anymore, type in stop or type in no or something like that. Don't do that either, because what that is they're just trying to determine if they've got a live text or a live phone number, so to speak. So you're just giving them some additional information. So once again, this is a text that's coming. It looks very official. It looks like it's from the Department of Health and Human Services about that you must get tested for COVID-19. And they just want you to go to a website that is not a legitimate website. So just be careful for this particular text.
Tim, thank you. You can find out more about this and other scams tied to the COVID-19 pandemic right now at the Better Business Bureau's website, bbb.org. Time now for a look outside. This is our Weather Now camera downtown. View to the north, a few more clouds up this way, Todd, but it's still a nice day for a Tuesday.
Yeah, not bad at all. Temperatures are mild. We don't have the completely clear blue skies out there. We'll kind of go from overcast at one point of the day, then the sun will pop out. But overall, it's going to be dry, and I think that's the key. You're able to get out and enjoy these mild temperatures that are in place. It's a little breezy with winds out of the west-southwest, currently at 13 miles per hour. But everybody right now is already well above normal. Take a look at Bedford. You're up to 76 degrees. You'll probably touch 80 here later on this afternoon. 73 in Martinsville. Even to the north, temperatures are in the 70s from Tipton up into the Peru area. Highs today will be topping off again right around 80 degrees in southern locations. A little cooler as you work to your north, but still 74 in Peru, our normal high this time of year. That is 61. So everybody's at least 10 to even 15 degrees above normal from where we should be here in the beginning of April. Storm Team 6 radar is quiet this morning. We had those strong storms that went through northern portions of the state. We are expecting more storms, but not until after midnight. We'll deal with those partly to mostly cloudy skies at times this afternoon. You notice this little patch of rainfall here. That's where we find the cold front, and it's this cold cold front that's going to sink its way south throughout the course of the overnight hours. Behind it, the air is not all that much colder, but it is going to be enough of a trigger mechanism to probably flare up some pretty good storms across parts of the area. I don't think this is a widespread severe weather outbreak for us, but I do think there's the potential at least for some isolated thunderstorm warnings during the overnight hours. The timing, 10 p.m., it's still across extreme northern Indiana. By 11 p.m., it's sinking into the Kokomo area, and then by 1 o'clock, it's approaching the metro area. However, as this comes south, because it's coming through during the nighttime hours, it's going to lose a little bit of its support to maintain these stronger storms. So instead, I think it's just more some isolated strong to potentially severe storms and not a solid line of storms sweeping across the state. And then the severe threat should end by 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So what are the main threats? Well, these storms have the potential, just based upon the setup, to be some pretty good hail producers. I think that's probably our biggest threat, followed by damaging wind. Can't completely rule out the chance of an isolated tornado, but that's on the lower end of the spectrum with this setup, and not concerned about flooding at all because these storms move through very, very quickly. They're not going to sit in one spot and prompt any flooding across the area. Tomorrow's still a nice day. I mentioned the air behind that front, not all that much colder. We're in the low 70s tomorrow. However, a stronger cold front comes through Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and this will give us another round late Wednesday into the early morning hours of Thursday of some rain and maybe a stronger storm or two. And then once that front goes through, that's when we start to bring in the colder temperatures. So today and tomorrow, very similar in the sense that it's mild and dry throughout the afternoon hours. The weather is during the overnight hours, so make sure you stay weather aware. The cooler temperatures are in place Thursday and Friday, with highs struggling to get to 50 degrees. It will be sunny, though, and then for Easter weekend, back to near 60 degrees with maybe some scattered rain showers on Easter Sunday, Lauren, but not a complete washout.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, We're Open Indy is RTV6's effort to show you local businesses that are still open during the pandemic. The owner of one local restaurant, Simano's, says he's more grateful than usual for the support of this community. In addition to carry-out orders at its 2 locations, Simano's also has this food truck that will come right to your neighborhood.
I live in the neighborhood, and we were walking around, and we saw the food truck out here, and we decided to come over and try it out.
This is tough times. We're a local owner. We're not a chain. We're trying to survive. This is, people think this is a genius thing to do, but I mean, this is kind of survival for us.
Well, the Simano's locations are Noblesville and Fishers. For more information about the food truck, you can check out Simano's Facebook page. We're Open Indy is RTV6's effort to showcase the businesses that are still open. Make sure you know the options that are available to you, and we hope you'll support those local businesses during this difficult time. You can just go to theindychannel.com and click on the We're Open Indy section to see what restaurants and businesses are still open to serve you. When we come back, it is time for our Pet of the Week. Look at this little guy, Trooper. We'll introduce you to this pup and let you know how you can make Trooper part of your forever family. Maybe you're sitting at home. Perfect time to introduce a pet. We'll be right back after the break.
Keller and Keller.
Welcome back. It is time for our Pet of the Week, and while we can't have him in our studio right now, you could still take this guy home with you. This here is Trooper. So cute. Trooper is 4 years old and was transferred to Indy Humane last June from another shelter. He's very social, a big goofball. Indy Humane says he's looking for an owner with a lot of energy to help get him outside and play. Right now, Indy Humane wants Trooper to go to a home with another social dog who could be sort of a mentor dog. The best part, there's no adoption fee, as Trooper's adoption has been sponsored. You can find more and schedule a meet and greet with Trooper right now at indyhumane.org. Oh, and Todd, he's really cute.
He is. I miss seeing our pups coming in here.
I know.
And sometimes, a cat as well on Tuesday, but we'll get him back in here once we're allowed to. But yeah, let's give Trooper a good home. And it's a great day to walk your pup or anybody else's pup for that matter across central Indiana. Get outside, enjoy the mild temperatures. Be aware though, overnight tonight, there will be the potential for some strong to severe storms, with hail being the main threat, followed by damaging wind.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. We hope you come back here. Join us for the news at 5 o'clock. A great day, so get outside, keep your social distance, and have a great Tuesday.